Hey everyone and welcome. We're about to go on a super fast journey, taking you from just looking at raw data to unlocking some really powerful insights. And the tool we're going to use for this whole adventure, it's a language called SQL. All right, let's get right into it.
Just think about it for a second. Every single time you click something, buy something, or do anything online, you're creating data. We are literally swimming in an ocean of information. So how does anyone, companies, scientists, you name it, make any sense of it all? How do they find that one specific thing they're looking for?
Well, that's where SQL comes into play. And today we're going to level up our game together. We'll kick off with the absolute basics, then learn how to manage and ask questions of our data. After that, we'll see how to connect all the different dots, and finally, we'll look at how this classic language is actually powering the future with AI.
So, let's kick things off at level 1. What in the world is SQL, really? Let's build that solid foundation.
Okay, so SQL stands for Structured Query Language. You can think of it as the universal language for talking to databases. And not just any database, but relational databases. The easiest way to picture those is like a collection of super organized spreadsheets, where everything is laid out perfectly in tables with rows and columns. SQL is just the list of commands we use to have a conversation with those tables.
Now, this is a huge point of confusion for beginners, so let's clear this up right now. You've probably heard names like MySQL, Oracle, or SQL Server. Those aren't different types of SQL. Those are the tools, the software that actually understand the SQL language you write. Learning SQL is kind of like learning how to drive. Once you have the skill, it doesn't really matter what brand of car you're in, you know how to make it go.
All right, let's move on up to level 2. Now that we know what SQL is, let's learn its 3 most important action words, or verbs. These are the commands you're going to use to actually make changes to the data sitting in your tables.
These 3 commands are the heart of what's known as data manipulation language, or DML. You've got insert, which lets you add new stuff, update, which lets you change what's already there, and delete. Well, that one's pretty self-explanatory, right? But you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility.
And I've got to tell you, this brings us to the single most important warning for anyone just starting out. If you tell a database to update or delete, but you forget to specify which rows with a where clause, it will just go ahead and change or remove everything. Trust me, it's the kind of mistake you only make once. So the crucial takeaway here, the one thing you absolutely have to remember is this. For update and delete, that where clause isn't just a suggestion, it is your safety net. As you can see, each command has a job to do, but it also has a critical precaution. Just burn this into your brain. Always use where with update and delete.
Let's climb to level 3. We know how to manage data now, but let's be honest. The real magic of SQL is in querying it. It's all about asking the right questions to pull out exactly the piece of information you need.
Hey, remember our safety net, the where clause? Well, turns out it's also our super-powered magnifying glass. It's the ultimate filter. You want to find all the customers from a specific city? Or maybe all the products that cost more than $100? The where clause is exactly how you ask the database for that.
And the where clause gives you some incredibly sharp tools to work with. For instance, you could find all the sales that happened between 2 specific dates. Or you could search for someone's name even if you only know a part of it by using the like operator. This is how you go from a gigantic haystack of data to finding that one tiny needle you're looking for.
Okay, so you've found your data, but it's a total jumbled mess, right? That's where order by comes in to save the day. You can sort everything alphabetically, or by number, or by date. And you can do it ask for ascending, or DESC for descending. It just makes everything clean, readable, and ready for you to analyze.
Welcome to level 4. And honestly, this is where SQL goes from being just a useful tool to being an absolute game changer. See, in any well-designed database, your information is smartly split up. You'll have customer info in one table and all their orders in a totally different table. Joins are the magic that lets us weave all that separate data back together to see the full story.
The absolute best way to visualize what a join is doing is to just picture a Venn diagram. You know, with the 2 overlapping circles? Imagine one circle is all of your customers, and the other circle is all of your orders. Joins let you see the parts where those 2 circles overlap, and even the parts that don't.
The one you're going to use most often is the inner join. In our Venn diagram, this is just that middle section, the overlap. It shows you only the results that exist in both tables. So if you join customers and orders this way, you'll only see the customers who have actually placed an order. It's the perfect intersection. Now, a left join is a little different. Here, you're grabbing that entire first circle, all the data from your left table, and then you're pulling in any matching data from the right table where it happens to overlap. This is fantastic for seeing all of your customers and then seeing which of them have placed orders, leaving it blank for those who haven't.
And as you've probably already guessed, a right join is just the exact opposite. It gives you everything from that right table, the second circle, and then pulls in whatever matching info it can find from the left. Simple as that.
And finally, if you just want to see everything, I mean the whole shebang, you use a full outer join. This gives you the entire Venn diagram, every single record from both tables, all matched up wherever possible. If a customer has no orders, you'll see them. If an order is missing a customer, you'll see that too. It is the complete picture all at once.
And now for our final level. Level 5 is where we connect everything we've just learned to the super exciting world of artificial intelligence. How on earth does this language that's been around for decades play such a huge role in building the future?
Well, the answer is a process called feature engineering. Now that sounds really fancy, but all it means is taking your messy, raw data and transforming it into clean, useful features that a machine learning model can actually understand. And it turns out SQL is one of the best tools out there for doing just that.
Here's a perfect example. A machine learning model has no idea what the words male or female mean, but numbers? It loves numbers. So with a pretty simple SQL command, we can transform that text into brand new columns that just have ones and zeros, something the AI can process in a snap.
So you might be thinking, okay, but can't AI just write all of this SQL for me now? And the answer is kinda. Yeah, tools like Copilot can generate code like crazy. But, and this is a big but, they can also make mistakes. This is the crucial part. You still need a human expert to check that the code is right, that it's efficient, and that it's secure. Your job doesn't go away, it just evolves from being a writer to being an expert reviewer.
So there you have it. We've gone from the absolute basics of what SQL even is, all the way to how it's shaping the future of AI. It's the language that turns these massive, confusing piles of data into clear stories that you can actually use. If data really is treasure, then SQL is the map. So the only question left is, what are you ready to discover?